Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pedcast. Welcome to the first episode today. We are joined by IRO Esports in episode number 1. I'm very excited to finally get this idea over the line. It's one that obviously I came up with a couple of weeks ago on my Twitter. I've got some graphics made for it. They aren't the greatest. Some things need to be tweaked. That's what's going to happen. The whole point of this series is, one, for me to learn how to do production properly and not be crap at it. And two, to meet new people, give them a platform to talk. But as I said, today we've got IRO Esports on. We've got two of their owners here. We've got Caden and Amgis, otherwise known as Matthew. Welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome to the stream. I'm really happy to have you. How are we both feeling today?
Yeah,
Excited to be on, yeah.
yeah, feeling good. Thank you for having us on.
Anytime. Yeah, I mean, this is the part where a lot of things are gonna go wrong. There's gonna be a lot of technical difficulties, a lot of questions, a lot of things. Maybe a stream crash in the midst of it. That's what's great about episode 1 of these sort of things. It's always gonna be a shit show. But we're going to try and make it a little bit easier. These guys are brilliant. They've came on first. They've took the spotlight first. They've helped me get this going, really. It's definitely given me a lot to learn about. And after this stream, I get to watch it back and see how crap it was and then change all the things that went wrong, keep the things that went right, and blah, blah, blah. But no, we've got these guys here. I'll give you a little breakdown of how the day is going to go. It should be around an hour to an hour and a half, roughly, so I've got to waste a lot of these guys' time tonight with talking, because obviously with organisations, these guys have been going for quite a while as well. So, you know, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of information that is inside of these organisations, information that sometimes players miss out on and may not catch up with because it's all behind the scenes. And that's what's so good about having two of the owners on here, that they can tell us about all the behind the scenes work, what has to go on, and how they get that achieved. But topic 1 will be the organisation background and information. Topic 2, owners background and information. So that's the two guys that we have in front of us today. Topic 3, achievements and ambitions. Topic 4, staff, team and playing teams in the server. And topic number 5, Rocket League general questions. And that's going to be a one or the other. So that should be like quick fire questions. Should only be a couple of minutes. But no, so without further ado, we'll try and get down to business. Now, I don't know how you guys want to go about answering this sort of questions, because obviously there's going to be a question that both of you can sort of touch on, or one of you can take it, but I'll let you guys decide who touches on this one.
Yeah, we'll direct each other, play off each other.
Brilliant. There you go. You can both be involved. But the first topic is on organisation background and information. So, I mean, I guess the first question is, when did this idea come about? What date? Who was the person to say it? How did it all originate?
Yeah, I'll take this, Caden. So, about January last year, I joined Caden's current roster as a sub player, and we then at that time felt like we weren't in the right place, so we left. And Caden, I think it was him who initiated the idea. We made our own server and just sort of went from there. I mean, we started off as TSL, and Caden was the one who was really driven and really knew how to run an org, because obviously he'd run a small org before that. But yeah, it was really just us and the 3 main players and 2 subs who broke off, and we started a small server, and it sort of just went from there. Caden, if you'd like to say anything.
Yeah. I played on our roster for a while, and then obviously we know each other in real life away from the game, and he wanted to play for a team, so we got him in, and it was like 5 of us at the time, and 4 of us thought that we weren't in the right place, so we took initiative and built what we have today.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, it's definitely a good way to get involved with each other, especially if you know each other in real life. It does reduce that element of trust that you can't have for people over the internet when you've never met them. So it is important to get that online trust, I feel, and you know, that's probably part of the reason that you guys are becoming more successful, and you're still going after such a long time without many mishaps in the server and many problems being caused by mistrust or arguments or distrust. So, you know, it's good. It's good to have that sort of there. So,
agree.
How long have you guys been in operation as an organisation?
Well, so I'll start where I just finished off. So we started off as Team TSL in, I think it was early February 2022, and after a few months with that, something happened. We then decided to rebrand to IRO, and ever since then it's been IRO. We've changed logos, this, that, whatever. But since about April 2022, that's when IRO really kicked off. We had to start from scratch, though, from TSL to IRO.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess. Did you take anything on from TSL to IRO, or was it just you and Kate resetting completely?
I guess it was more of a reset. We lost 2 of our owners in that transition, so it went from 6 to 4 from TSL to IRO, and I think one of the main things we took was just we knew what not to do now. We'd prioritise things we hadn't prioritised things we should. So I guess it was just taking skills and getting rid of things that we shouldn't have done and taking them into growing IRO.
Yeah, we also managed to salvage some of the rosters that we'd built on TSL and carry them across with us, so we had some sort of a basis, not starting completely from scratch as such.
Yeah, and I know especially from my own experience creating an org, when you start from scratch, it can be a bit of a pain in the backside, especially, when things go wrong and all hope's lost and you're both looking at the org going, it's not working, problems are arising everywhere, everyone's arguing, it's in a crisis basically. But no, to do what you've done and to restart from the bottom and take it back up again, it is a good thing to do. It's something that I didn't do myself with Ties, and instead I chose the easy route and ran. But different people have different ambitions. So no, it's good. It's good to see. And now the org, how's it doing now? How would you say it is into modern day? Do you think it's going well in your eyes, or could it be going better? How do you think it's going right now?
I think for the best it's ever been, to be honest.
Yeah,
Business
I think
is booming.
Yeah, I think we've had like flat spots. We started to grow quite quickly. Then through the summer, it sort of just went off completely. Then it started to grow a bit again September, then flattened off a bit during December, and now we've started to get our act together. A bit more content, a bit more like getting involved in leagues, more teams, more like structure to it. And I think we're heading in a better direction anyway. Definitely.
Yeah, anything to add on that, Caden?
Yeah, it's like looking into more like growing and getting involved with the community as opposed to just having teams to represent us. Wanting to offer more to people than what we want to gain ourselves.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So far we've learned that you've came from a team TSL, you've took away some owners and you've took 4 owners away, took some rosters away. You've got this mission going. At the moment, you're doing brilliant, better than you've ever done before. That's all brilliant to hear. So where did the name IRO come from? What was the inspiration behind the name? Whose idea was it? Was there any inspiration, or was it just completely random? Look at the alphabet and randomly choose 3 letters blindfolded.
Well, I think it was Sebi, wasn't it, Caden?
Yeah, he's like of Japanese origin. One of his parents is from there, and we were a bit stumped for a name, and he was like, "Oh, you know what? We'll go with this." And then it's kind of the perfect name as such,
So
because there's so many options for team names. It's not just like, oh, IRO Blue, IRO Green. Well, it is just in a different language.
yeah, so to give context, Iroh means color in Japanese.
Okay,
Sebi,
right.
one of the previous owners, chose that name. We don't know why, but he liked it, and that gives us a basis to name each of our teams after a color. So we give a list of colors, and then you are Iroh, let's say Midori, meaning dark green. So
Yeah.
it's quite a nice naming system.
To also give you probably one of the only ideas you can have for a logo, which is just the Japanese letter, I'd assume,
Yeah.
for IRO. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Because obviously that's your guys' logo. So, that makes a lot of sense. That's why the logo is the way it is. I never knew that. So that's why we do these sort of things. So then the people who also look at IRO and go, "What the bloody hell does that mean?" This is why we do it. This is to explain why it is. Because some people might have these questions. You guys get to answer them on this podcast. If anyone ever asks them, you get to go, "Oh, watch Ped's podcast. Shout me some more shout outs," and also saves you from telling everyone what the answer is. But no,
Yeah.
good. So we know it's colour. So how many teams have you got to this day and age right now? I know we're touching on it later, but just a ballpark number.
We've got what, like 5, I think.
Yeah, we've got 5 or 6. I think. Well, I think one of our favourite teams at the minute is the women's carball team, because they give us such a different like look as such, because it's not just bog standard European teams. It's something in a different
Amazing.
region,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like they are playing in some bubble women's tournaments, so it's
There you go.
quite a good thing.
Will they be competing in the 100k opens?
The ones that aren't invitationals, yes, they will be.
There you go. Have they got any wins so far? Have they got any wins? I know I'm touching on this a bit early, but I'm interested now.
Not under our name. They've got they made main event last WCB split, which was like
There
December,
you go.
but that was ages ago. A few roster changes. We're hoping for some
change as
some
well.
wins now. Yeah.
Well, you get yourself that team in early. It's good to see, especially with the recent news coming to light in Rocket League scene with the women's scene, especially the 100k opens are going to be gigantic for the scene. But no, only a couple of questions left for the first topic. So we'll try and get to the end of them. So just a quick fire one. What games are IRO involved in? What games have you been involved in the past? What games have you got rid of? Why have you got rid of them? And what games are you involved in now, and why are you involved with them now?
Caden, do you want me to?
Yeah, go for it.
So at the minute, it's currently just Rocket League. It has been Rocket League ever since the beginning. I think it always will be. We've been in COD for a very short time. They competed in some qualifiers, but then that
Yep.
sort of fizzled away. We've tried in F1. We had a team. They never really entered any leagues. And we also tried in Fortnite, and that was
Okay.
another thing that fizzled away quite
Disastrous.
quickly. The thing is, we try, but it's just managing everything at once. It's something we hope to grow with as we go. We aim to be in more things. We want to be in Valorant. We do want to get back into F1. Do want to get a COD team. It's difficult, but yeah, just Rocket League for now.
Yeah, of course you need staff to manage the load, and when more games you need more managers, you need more mods for separate communities. There is a lot involved with it, especially when you combine in different games, because you're getting four different communities, and if you get that many games as well, you're gonna get the COD community, which is going to be, well, then again, with this world day and age, probably not more toxic than the Rocket League community. They're probably hand in hand. But the COD, I'd assume the Fortnite scene is less toxic than the COD scene, but you never know these days. The world's gone mad. 12-year-olds to swear and being all sorts of little shits. So that's the way the world's going. But no. So how many staff members do you have then in IRO altogether? Active staff members, not people who've they abandoned you and buggered off somewhere else. But how many have you got active now who are involved with the server, who are helping you out on a day-to-day basis, or trying to do their bit to help the community? How many people have you got?
There's us two, and then we've got 2 admins in Mimical and Phil, and then we've got 3 to 4 moderators that kind of vary in activity, but it's mainly just the 4 of us that run it.
Yeah, so we have at the minute there's a bit of a structure. So I'm supposed to be head of not Rocket League, sorry, COD, and like coordination with COD and other games like Growth. Caden's currently Rocket League head coordinator with Mimical as his like deputy or coordinator. Phil is more of like a technical person. He's developing, helping us with like Twitch overlays, bots, things like that. And then the moderators do good things like just looking over the server and post things like Tournament Tuesdays and other events like that. So
Community work.
yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got a good team. Obviously, you need more hands on deck if you want to spread into other games. But it's always good to have a staff team there that you can trust, that you can have capabilities to do that sort of side as well. So, how is your content team working at the moment? Then, how's your content team working? Who's involved in that little area of space?
We have content creators and we have casters. Obviously, the casters cast for things like the AWS and other games. Obviously, we have Princess Warrior, who is one of the WCB players. She streams on an often basis, whether that be qualifiers, matches. She is down as a content creator for us. One of the aforementioned moderators, Fizzles, he is also a content creator, streams with the IRO stuff, helps us out with the tournaments. So, and we try and post as often as we can on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, anything like that. Try and get the VOD on YouTube, especially with the IWS again. So content is best it's been for a while, but we still think we could do a lot better with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with a lot of online organisations who maybe don't have that sponsorship money in. Actually getting someone who can do social media consistently, who can do editing, who can do graphics all at the same time, it can become quite a costly little gig, especially for an org. I don't believe you guys have any paid sponsorship, if I'm right in saying at the moment.
No.
No, exactly. So to get these types of people, the social media guys, you do need to shift out a little bit of change, and that's the problem with a lot of orgs these days. There's this many organisations and only this many sponsorships available, so it is quite a tough market to get involved in. Hence why we're giving, obviously, the platform for you guys to speak on here. You can use this as any material you want, really, to go to sponsors and talk to them, and hopefully the idea will catch on. But no, I think now we're going to talk a little bit more about we had an idea in my head. I'm just trying to waffle until it comes back to me a second, because I had the idea in my head, and it was a good idea at the time of coming to it. So how many people are in the IRO family now altogether? So including your TikTok, including your Twitter, including your Discord, how many people altogether would you say you have from all your platforms at the moment?
We've got 370 in the Discord server. We've got 100 followers, 120 followers on Twitter. We've got
130, I think it is. Yeah.
oh, all right, even
Twitch
better.
is around 150, and YouTube is about 30. So I mean, YouTube is a lot less active than the other
Yeah,
ones. TikTok, I do not know. I can find
probably
that
not
out
many.
for you. But yeah,
Probably not
so
many.
in this
Yeah,
last like 2 months, we've gained about 70 members, which is the fastest rate it's been at for a
yeah,
while. So 60 follows on TikTok.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, everyone's going to start somewhere. That's the thing. And on these platforms as well, especially TikTok, you've got the capability to have one video that just pops off, and all of a sudden you're at 1,000 followers, and that's how that algorithm works. Videos come to light, videos peak. I've had the same experience of one of our videos going from maybe 1,000 views averaging to 113 or 119,000 views, and that video alone got us 1,000 followers. And then after that, no more views. Welcome to TikTok. Welcome to the algorithm. You get one chance. If you mess it up, then you're through off the system. But I'm sure you guys can take it very, very far, and you guys can cause some damage. Thank you very much, Matthew, for the subscription. That is very kind of you to throw my way. That's me 4th out of 10 now. We're getting there. We're getting towards 10.
Yeah, I
Thank you very
saw the
much, mate.
count and I thought I had to contribute. You're giving us the limelight. I might as well help you out.
Fair enough, mate.
or
No,
buy
I
you.
do appreciate it. That means I got to get you some tip-top content now. I've got to edit you down for you. Give you a little bit more than the usual. But no, thank you very much. But no, organised background information. Okay, so I guess we've covered most parts. Is there anything else you want to say about the background or the information about the teams or anything? Are you recruiting for any teams? Are you looking for any players? What are you looking for right now?
Currently, we're
Sorry.
looking for obviously the COD players, but that's more of a longer process. But mainly, we're looking for 1800s to 1900s of a younger age, like 15, form an academy team.
Okay.
That's the main one.
You got any staff positions you need filling as well?
Always, always.
I
The
think
more
it's
the
just
merrier.
it's just one of those things where if you apply to be a mod through our application system, you can then work your way up to an admin like these
Yeah.
two have done, Mimical and Phil, and then
Yeah.
it's just building that trust with us. And like, if you give us enough time and we give you enough time, we can build a great like team. And
There you go.
so yeah, it's just there's lots of stuff, like nothing specific, but we are just happy to take on more staff, especially for things like different games, people that understand different games, how they work, and their recruitment, and
Yeah.
also for running day-to-day things like with the IWS and processing things like stats and
Yeah,
organizing
definitely.
schedule. Sorry.
And even people to help us run the socials, people who can edit, graphics designers are always welcome.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Graphics design is one of the most needed arts in the entire of esports. Yeah, I know that. I had to throw a bit of money out on that towards the end of my own personal makings. So yeah, that is definitely a pain in the backside these days to find those. But no, honestly, you sound like you're going the right way about it. So if you're a COD player, if you're an 18, 1900 who's under the age of 16, or maybe 16 is a top one, young 1800, 1900 player, or if you're a staff member who wants to get involved in staff, wants to learn a bit of a certain skill and specialise in a skill, get in touch with the IRO guys. I will leave all the information on YouTube when I post on YouTube. On Spotify, if I can figure out how that works. I mean, I feel like a boom when I can't upload it to that, but I'll figure it out eventually. I'll get it on as many channels as possible. This is for Pedcast to grow. What you guys can do to help myself, these guys on right now, is you can share this podcast to everyone, on your friends right now. Get onto Discord, send it to a couple of your friends, get them in here, tell them to get involved, tell them to learn, because this is a place for people to spread.
I'm doing it now.
The only way for this to grow, the only way for this to spread is by you helping me out here. You know, I've managed to do my part and reach these organisations, get them on organised times, get the graphics made and stuff like that. I don't want to sound like a saint because it was really easy to do the graphics for me. I just pissed about with it. That's why they're so bad quality. But I'm going to get all these guys on for you. I'm going to get a good list of people. Hopefully, you know, we can keep doing these on a weekly basis until 2024, until I've got no ideas left and I have to start scratching my head a bit. But for this time, make sure all your friends are in here. Let's make this something big. Let's make this a platform for organisations to find new players, to find new people, to make conversations with other organisations to work together. Because I think that's one thing that we do lack in the Rocket League scene. Some organisations go and butt heads. Obviously, you have the rivalries, but you don't tend to have many organisations working together and give them each other a pat on the back. It always seems to be seen as a very toxic environment from org to org, and org battles and org wars and stuff like that. I know I had my fair share with certain orgs when I was owning ties, and so we need to start coming together a bit more. You know, it's esports. This is not your football derby, Manchester and Liverpool derbies you usually have. This is esports. And the only way to grow is to come together and play together. But what we're going to do is after every one of these topics, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break so Ped can go and get a drink. So we're just going to jump into a break. But whilst we go to a break before moving to the next topic, please do, as I said, share to everyone. Get it on Twitter. Get it on YouTube. Get it everywhere you can. Take clips. Send it on there. You guys are the ones to make it happen. Thank you very much for the first 20 minutes. We'll be back very, very shortly. 2-minute break, and then we're back again. Prepare yourselves for them. This is going to be for Ped to use a toilet or Ped to get a drink, and these other two can join in or do whatever they want as well in that time. Quick 2-minute break, and then we're back into it, back into the action, the important stuff. So it's going to be like a TV show. So, you know, when I get sponsors and I get fit, rich and famous, and ITV want to come and put themselves a little shoot on for 4 seconds or whatever, we can start selling the advert in between each one. You know what I mean? That's the way it goes. I might start putting ads on actually to make all you watch.
Good idea. Good
give
idea.
Me revenue streams, right? They're created in interesting ways. Anyway. Getting on to the next section then. This is about the organisation owners. Your 2 people sat in front of you right here. You've got Amgis and Caden. I've definitely got a question to ask Matthew first. So we're going to start with Matthew. Why did you choose the name Amgis? Where's the background of the name Amgis? Or is it said Amgis?
Right. This is quite a long story. Well, I'll make it short.
Go ahead. I'm here to listen. Everyone's here to listen.
So I follow Call of Duty Esports. I have done for 3 years. I support a team called the Los Angeles Thieves, and on that team there's a player called Draza. And Draza's name originated from his favourite word backwards. So his favourite word being hazard became Draza as his in-game name. And about 6 months ago, I didn't like the name I had at the time, so well, I like my name, but in-game I was Chewy, and I changed it to my favourite word backwards, and my favourite word is Sigma, so my name became Amgus.
Right.
That is
Yeah, no, I seen that coming from about a minute ago. As soon as you told me name backwards, I looked at it. I was like, "Oh, for God's sake!" No, it's fine. I'm not gonna say it because I'm not getting done like that on my stream. But no, fair enough. No, I was just interested because I was like, Amgus. Is he trying to go with like a Scottish name or something, or from the Alps? But there you go. I mean, there's no need to ask Caden that question because his name is just his name. I'd assume your name's Caden in real life.
Yeah, nice and boring.
There you go. Nice and simple.
Real
Where's the
creative.
07 come into it though? Because your name's got 07, but you're not 07. That's what always confused me.
The date.
Or it's a date.
Okay.
What's the date of?
The 7th is the date of my birthday.
Kept it simple enough. I mean, 07 just looks a bit bland, to be honest, but
Yeah.
we'll take it. We'll take it. It works. It works its way. But no, fair enough. We've got that. So, talking about birthdays, we're going to go to Amgis here. How old are you? What is your age?
18, born on the 31st of October 2004, on Halloween actually, so quite a strange day to be born on.
So, you're in your final year of college? Or are you
Yep.
above that? Are you
Yeah.
one more? Final
Year
year of college?
13. Yeah, year 13, yeah.
What are you doing in college?
Subjects?
Yeah. Oh, you're doing A-levels?
Yeah, A-levels, yeah.
Okay, A-levels. What are you
A-levels,
doing for
yeah.
A-levels?
Biology, chemistry, and history. So, a lot of people would say very boring, but
Interesting.
something
Mix of subjects. I mean, the sciences with history, I don't know where that comes in, but fair enough, you know.
yeah.
No, good subjects. A-levels. You're going for A's, are you, I assume?
That's always the goal, isn't it? Yeah, but
Is that where you're
yeah.
projected? You're smart lad.
Yeah, you are. Come on.
Somewhat, yeah. Somewhat. Yeah, I'm just like not stupid, not smart. I work hard, I could do very well.
Yeah.
But
Well,
very...
you've always got to strive for the best. So fair enough. Yeah, doing A-levels, smart. I mean, it always helps, and you've got smart people running an organisation. You know, there is some morons run organisations in other places.
Yeah.
So it's always good. It's always good to make sure you've got your brain sorted on obviously academics. I mean, obviously it's coming up to your A-level time this year, very shortly. So how's that going to affect your time at the organisation?
I think it's just gonna get in the way of things like just organising, helping out with moderation, and especially if we're running the IRO Spring Skirmish, or maybe it's the IRO Summer Skirmish at that point, but that'll be hard because it'll be, let's say, full days at a time or half days at a time, because the few times I have streamed for the IRO streams, whatever, it's been like 6, 7, 8 hours, and that's time you can't afford to be giving away at that time of year, so it's difficult.
No, yeah, it's always a problem. I remember, obviously, I'm a little bit younger than you. I'm in the year below you, technically. So I remember my GCSE time when I had to do things like play matches. It was a bit busy, I mean, don't get me wrong, I did absolutely fuck all revision for my GCSEs. I'll tell us the chat now. I did barely any revisions for my GCSEs. I did okay, didn't fail any, so there you go. It went well in the end, but I did very little revision, so I did end up playing the games. But it's a very stressful time because in your mind you don't want to play the games, but then you just sat there staring at a book of revision and doing nothing for 2 hours. So either way, it's probably better for playing the games. You get more done, you get more achievements. But no, that's fair enough. It is going to affect Cade, I'm sure. But Caden, just to go off of Aegis for a second, or Amgus, how old are you then? Are you the same year? Are you in the same boat?
Yeah, I'm same year, just not turned 18 yet. And
You're
yeah, I'm
17.
doing A-levels as well.
You can't buy alcohol yet in the UK. Fair enough.
No, not yet.
Get on my level.
Well, then again, you probably still do. Probably got the fake ID action going. I wouldn't be surprised. You are in England. No,
England.
Hey, you laughed. I seen that. No, it's okay. It's okay. Well, you drink from when you're 12 in England usually. So if you've not drank yet, then you've done a good job.
Yeah.
On a field when you're 12, no matter where you're from, no matter how posh your area is, that usually is the way to go. Fair enough. So we've got two people here, both the owners. It's going to be maybe a bit of time of crisis. What's your plan then? Moving back to the org stuff for both of you, what's your plan when you both go on your little exam period? How is that going to happen? Who's going to take over the reins for a little while? How is it going to work? Have you figured that out yet?
Not 100%.
I mean, we've had quite a similar situation recently. So not too long ago, I took a 2-week break from IRO, and Caden and the few other staff in IWS and IRO dealt with all the administration and everything like that. So it can be done. It's just balancing on and off. Let's say Caden's in school, I'm not. I'll be helping out with things and vice versa. And we do have very cooperative people at work. Or I say work, help us out. So it's just timing when we do our things and like working around it and just dealing with it the best we can.
Fair enough. No, yeah, I guess it's a very valuable phrase. It's going to be a difficult time, I'm sure, for those few months of exam periods. But hopefully you both come out on top and successful. But we're going to stick with you, Amgus. We're going to get to Caden after you. Just as a question there that needed to be asked. So how old were you when the team was created then? The first team, Team TSL, when the first organisation was made. How old were you at that point?
I was 17, so this was January 2022, so only 4 months before Ira actually was born. I joined that roster, and then I was still 17 at that point.
Well, fair enough. Yeah, 17, still young. I guess you were in first year, sixth form then.
Yeah. Funny story actually. We were just talking about revision and everything. I actually played ones the morning before my biology mock. I just gave up on revision. Just
commitment.
What, the biology mock or the ones?
The biology mock, not the ones tomorrow.
It went all right. I just gave up looking at a book. I had 2 hours left. I thought, have placements to play. Let's just get them done.
Fair enough, mate. Yeah, that's the life of a gamer, mate. You got your priorities straight. That's good to hear. Always good to hear. So I already sort of know this question, but I guess you can expand on it a slight bit. So what did you do before creating an organisation, or even before joining the organisation? Let's say in your case.
Me individually, yeah. So
in terms of Rocket League.
In terms of Rocket League, I have played since 2016.
Okay.
On and off. I played a lot before the game went free to play. I was nearly GC before the game went free to play. As soon as free to play dropped, I was hard stuck in Champ 1 for 3 seasons, and then motivation dwindled. I played on that team, motivation built up again, and then don't play for Ross anymore. I still play the game sometimes, but I've gone on a bit of a loophole there. But yeah, I played 2s, nearly got GC. That's the main take from that.
Yeah. So how did you get into Rocket League then in 2016? Back when the game was coming out, what was it? YouTuber? Was it just seeing the game in the shop? How did it come about?
I think someone I played football with at the time just played the game, and he told me that he was playing it, and I just ended up getting it for Christmas. Then the twos grind kicked off from there, really.
Down when the Rising Star was a rank. No, we miss those old times. Those old times on the traditional Rocket League when crates existed and Trade Nico and scammers were everywhere. 12-year-old scammers on Rocket League. They were the times back in the day. You'll only know it if you were there. Yeah, 2016 Christmas was the exact same. I got my PlayStation 4, so exactly when I got Rocket League as well. So we started off the same place. What rank are you now?
I didn't even finish placements last season. I was about C3 in 2s. So
wait, I thought we played more than 10 games last season.
At the end of the season, I ended at C3.
C3, okay. Well, Ped's happy then because he's higher rank. Ped got to 35 last season, so we played at the same time, but I've beat you in the race, but I probably do play more than you do, especially in the recent months anyway with your mocks, or then again, you're playing ones. That's what your problem is. You're playing the wrong game mode, pal. Anyway, so this is a question that I guess I already kind of know the answer to, but I want to ask it on a more personal basis. So, who inspired you to create an organisation? So, I know obviously Caden would be a big part of it in this point of view. But is there any other organisations you watched when you were younger, Call of Duty, Rocket League, that also inspired you? How did you get inspired to actually want to do it yourself? What made you want to do it yourself?
Me individually again.
Yeah.
I can't really pinpoint like an exact like team or anything like that. I think it was just watching my favorite team, NRG, just seeing how successful they could be and how they managed content,
Yeah.
competing, following a fan base and things like that. And then I think just seeing a link between my favorite Rocket League team and favorite COD team being under the same one ownership just seemed like really cool to me, and how someone can have so much success in such a business, different esports, different players, different commitments almost. It's just cool to me.
No, that's fair enough. You give a perfect answer, and I think it's the same answer that obviously a lot of people will sort of agree on. They're just excited by the difference of it. Obviously, coming from a team, I think that's where actually a lot of organisations are born, from playing as a player in a team and having crappy owners and having crappy staff. And you look at it and you think, these players deserve a lot better. There's an active community here. I think I could give it a crack. And it does take a while for you to get that point and get to that confidence. But obviously, when you find the confidence, and obviously it's worked for you now with IRO, and it's still going strong. So that I guess is what is needed a little bit more in the scene, a little bit more confidence. But at the moment, they can hold on. There's too many organisations for now. Just wait a couple of months until a couple of them have dropped down, and you can join back in. Obviously.
Yeah, I mean, everyone had a Fortnite clan at some point, and I think the switch from PC really actually made me realise that it is a lot easier than I thought it was.
Yeah.
To actually just start up.
Well, it's just a Discord server. It's just a Discord server, a couple of Twitter posts. Obviously, when it gets to a little bit higher level, it's a bit more complicated. But for the time being, that is where it is. But no, thank you very much, Matthew. We'll move on to Caden now. It's Caden's turn underneath the spotlight. So we know that Caden's 17, so we know the age already. We know why his name is his name. Now, that one was an easy one because it's Caden, and we know the 07s because of the date of his birthday. So what month is that birthday in, Caden?
June.
June. So we've got a June birthday here. So Caden will be 18 in June. Okay, that's fair enough. There you go. June the 7th. Wish Caden a happy birthday, everyone. Remember it. Get it in your diary. You need to wish Caden a happy birthday on Twitter. I want to see it. I want to see at least 5 people in this stream do it. There's 10 of you, so you better get it down in your diaries. I know I will be. I'll probably forget though, to be honest. Anyway, moving on. Next question. So I guess I can say the same to you, but you're just probably 1 year younger than Matthew at the time when the TSL was there. You're probably 16.
Yeah, I was 16.
So 16 when TSL and IRO was born. So there we go. We've got that answer. This one should be pretty quick actually. We already pretty much know most of the answers anyway from the Matthew section. So what did you do before creating the organisation, Caden? What was your life before the organisation?
God, just played the game for fun, really.
Did you play any leagues, community leagues with any other friends, IGL or anything like that, or was it just playing ranked?
No, it was just playing ranked at like a gold 3 to champ 1 level, and then we tried to join a team, and they were like, nah. So then we just made our own and went from there.
Fair enough.
Well,
go on. Sorry.
I was just going to say that the team that we actually built TSL from was actually a team that was founded to play in IGL. So
okay, yeah. There you go.
Kid
so
did play in IGL before.
Yeah, they got 1 season in before
Fair
they.
enough. Yeah, before they died. Fair enough. Yeah. Well, at least you got the one. But so when did you start playing Rocket League, and what console did you begin on? What was your first console, and what was your first time you played Rocket League?
When it came free to play, that's when I got the game, and I'd always played on PC. was gonna get it before it became free to play, but then it was announced it was coming free, so I just waited.
So you're a late bloomer.
Oh yeah.
Rather than me and Matthew, Caden is a late bloomer. He came later. So what rank are you, Caden? Where are you around these
Uh,
days?
End of the season, I was 1640.
Okay.
Haven't played
Okay.
much comp though. Got to grind in next season. Well, this season.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that's fine. Fair enough. You just hit those the big numbers there. You just said to Amgus, yeah, you get over there. You just see free playing until 2016. I'm 1640. I've only been here till free play. You nerd. There you go. No, I guess it is consistency though. You're staying on PC for all those months and presumably the same account and stuff. So you had the consistency over poor Amgus here. I doubt he got Rocket League on the PC for his first console.
No, Xbox One for me.
Xbox One, there you go. I was PS4, so as you can tell, you've had the consistency, right? You've had the consistency. That's where your part comes in. But 2,000 hours on PC, and I'm still shit. So it's not the greatest, not the greatest of times, but that's fair enough. So now I think this is the final question for you here, Caden, and it's pretty straightforward, to be honest. It's pretty easy, and that is just who inspired you to create the organisation.
It's probably my friends. Like we wanted to play for a team. That team didn't want us to play for them, so we then just took initiative and made our own, and
Was there
never
any
looked back.
content creator, any team, any player that inspired you at all, or who you watched a lot on Twitch or on YouTube? Who was it around that sort of time that you were watching and you were getting advice from, and you were sort of looking up to as an inspirational character?
There wasn't really anyone. I can't lie. It's just really out of the blue. Saw a post and then from some random guy, and we thought, oh, we could do that, and then we tried to do it better, but the first attempt was terrible. Probably should have had an
Yeah, you can't
inspiration.
imagine how bad
It
that
was
first
it was
attempt was.
awful. It was so bad.
Still got flashbacks to it today. Oh my.
Nightmares. When you're trying to go
Yeah.
to sleep at night in the dark, and then you just see that organisation scare
I
yourself.
see IRO Champ Team EU Alpha and I cringe at the name of it. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Crazy.
The logo, everything about it. I mean, even the way that PSL became IRO, it's nice to think we became IRO from something that we learned things from, but yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
No,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's absolutely fair dues. Fair enough. What we'll do is, unless anyone requests a break here, we can move on
Yeah, we
to the
can
next
continue,
topic.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
are. I see the time ticking down below, so I do want to make sure I'm not wasting too much time getting the chat what they want. So no advert until the next section, because I know an advert stream just came. Then that's also another reason I'm not throwing on more ads to you. But no, we're in the topic 3 now, and this topic's quite an interesting one. Because it does go in depth of where you see the server going and what your vision is for the server. Again, it's a questions for both of you. You can both pitch in on it. You can both put your input, and you can bounce off each other as per usual. But basically, just to begin, what have you achieved so far as an organisation? What would you say you've achieved? What are the biggest achievements and biggest landmarks that you've hit in your organisation to this day?
Okay, and I'll let you go first.
Thank you. I
Put you on the
think
spot.
the main achievement as of like right now is probably the women's roster. That is so huge for us. Like acquiring someone of that caliber and the way the world's going and the way the esports going. I think it's definitely a great thing to have a foothold in. And then obviously we've got some massive things coming very soon, but we can't say much more than that.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
to add on to that, I think I know I keep referring back to it. I think just learning a lot of things through the IWS, the IRO Winter Skirmish, we've successfully managed to recruit a lot of teams, run a lot of streams, run all the things behind it, and just help get our name out there a bit. Because since the first or the pre-season, we've gained a lot of followers and even Twitter and Twitch, just people, you see a few more names in the chat that you wouldn't have seen before, that names that you've acquired from the fans or the players of the teams in the tournament as such.
Yeah.
So it's for how long we've been making content, I think we're doing quite well with it, and I'm quite happy with that. So yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, again, it's one of those situations where it's idealized by the people with money in esports just to buy a graphics designer, to buy someone who can edit, to buy someone who can do social media, to buy someone who does production and casts. You know, it's actually a lot more work to find the confidence to do it yourself and to
Yeah.
go through the shitstorm basically of getting things wrong, doing things the wrong way, getting the abuse from the chat or the feedback from the community. That is all part of the growth and
Yeah.
the learning experience of running an organization. And I think that's why a lot of people who do run an organization then have a lot of experience in the business world in general, going for those sponsorship meetings, the sales side of things where you need to sell yourself to a team to join your organization. Why should they join you and not the other hundreds of EU organizations that are playing in RSC, ERS, PCS, all these different leagues that we have available to us at this day and age? And that's the biggest problem at the moment, I think, as well, because the population of organizations just keeps growing, and a lot of these organizations are surviving. I mean, even look at Ties, and even though I've left, I've passed it down to Chris. Chris has kept it alive to some extent. It is still somewhat kicking and alive, and that's all that I care about. So, even orgs that are maybe on the last sort of legs, they're still kicking, they're still going, they still have those teams. So obviously it is a very competitive world. I know myself, I spent a lot of time in calls trying to convince, trying to speak to coaches, trying to speak to different businesses to put money towards Ties, and it is a tiring sort of situation. And that's why I think it's a good opportunity for you guys to tell everybody out there what you actually are doing in your day-to-day jobs, because everyone just sort of thinks that sometimes, I know from my own experience, they think you just sit around on your arse all day eating donuts and not doing anything. But obviously, it's very far from the truth. You're in the scenes, behind the scenes, having a call with someone, making sure someone's okay, sorting out petty arguments that happen in the chat. I mean, that's probably half your time these days and ages with the online beef that happens with keyboard warriors. I mean, I know that was half mine. Every time chat's kicking off, someone's called him a dickhead. Oh, bugger off, leave me alone. You know what I mean? That was part of the reason why I got sick of it and I did
Probably the
Kaden.
important stuff, not manage
you
someone
want to focus on what
over
needs to
game,
push the org forward. Yeah, and banning someone from the chat for 10 minutes isn't going to do nothing. Putting someone on the naughty step when they're 15 or older, it's just a bit daft. But no, I think, as I said, it is part of the learning curve. It is that part that you need to sort of gain experience and move forward. And I think that's what I took from Ties and the experience. At the end, I realised I was in too deep. I couldn't carry on. Too much to do. Panned it away. And, I will always treasure and value the people that were there to tell me I'm shit, because they helped me improve. They told me what I did wrong. I can improve from that. When at times I handled situations badly, I know to handle them differently now with different people. It just single things like that. It's so precious to get that. Even though people at the time are talking shit to you, you start to take it into your head and you store it, and you'll come back to it later when you're more chilled out and you'll go, why has he said this? What actually happened at this time? How can I improve myself? How can I make sure that no one's going to come to me calling me a dickhead or this, that, and the other? And that's the way, I guess, you guys have run it, and that's how you get better at handling situations and handling arguments and stupid shit that happens. It happens in all walks of life, in workplaces, in environments, just in the park, walking your corgi or something. It can happen. You know what I mean? It will happen in every walk of life. But no, I think that's a great response. And I've just gone on for 5 minutes about it. Got to make sure the podcast's worth watching. Keep the viewers on. Keep them hooked. Keep the views going up on my YouTube channel. I need the bloody views on there. But anyway, moving on to the next one. So, how did you achieve getting that women's carball roster you were talking about? Because the question originally is, how did you achieve the above? And the above was basically the women's carball, which is the most interesting one. So how did you achieve getting them? What was the process? What meetings happened? How did you two masterminds get this team on your board?
Only one mastermind was behind this. It was Caden. Caden. He dealt with that.
Yeah. It's just a lot of time was spent researching the scene, speaking to people in the scene, what they want from orgs and what they want to achieve as a team, and talking to people, building them contacts, and going from there, and then trying to reach out to the teams and seeing if what we can offer matches what they want.
Yeah.
And a lot of that.
Yeah, Caden, you spent a long time actually looking through Liquipedia, the streams, things like that, working out which players, which teams, which managers, whatever, were looking for things and how they were going to perform and what they'd done and things like that. So it's just, and then it's contacting them and then trying to match what they wanted, I guess. So
yeah. So obviously that's what happens in a lot of the organisation time. So just explain to people how those meetings take place. Just explain to people how the negotiation process happens, because a lot of people don't understand it when they haven't actually been an owner themselves, of how those negotiations take place and how those talks happen, and why you actually need to care about what they want, and why you need to do this and that and the other. You just explain to people out there why you need to do all this stuff and how it happens.
So you can't just going and say, "Oh yeah, you should come play for us. We're this org. Yeah, we're so good." Say you can't offer them stuff you can't provide, because then that just ruins your reputation as a team. You've got to be able to give something long lasting, something that they actually benefits them, or there's no point in joining you. If you don't have those negotiations, you don't know how you can improve or provide for that team, and this just hinder you further along the line.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to explain it. I think it's good to not have any uneasiness, especially when you go into those talks. I mean, you got to be confident. You got to go in with confidence. You got to bounce. Sometimes you got to talk shit. I mean, that's a big part of the job. Talking absolute crap, that doesn't matter. That was definitely part of my job. You've got to sell the dream to people in the end. That's the salesman's way. They tell you the car will drive forever, but it only drives 5 years and it's dead. That's how car salesmen's work. You know what I mean? That's the way of selling things to people. That's the way of pitching to people. Obviously, some things you say you're meaning to do, but it doesn't happen. That's all me, that talking shit and then getting caught for it. But that's a big problem with the first couple of months of Tyson. But no, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. You've got to go into those meetings. You've got to go in with confidence. You've got to tell them exactly what they want to hear, essentially, and make sure that you can back that up after the meeting. Because you'll know what they want. You'll hear what they want. But obviously, so did you have Princess Warrior before the team? Was she a player that you acquired as a content creator before the actual team idea was even around?
No, she was acquired as a player first, and then as she spent
Okay.
time with the org, she grew into the further roles, such as a caster and a content creator.
Okay. No, fair enough. No, I guess that's the way it works, and it's always good to see, always good to hear about that kind of thing. But we're going to move on, because I know I am wasting a lot of time here, and we are only on the third topic, and we'll be here all day otherwise. And we do need to sleep. It is getting late. So, this is a bit of a daft question, because we already really know the answer, but how long did it take you to achieve the above? So how long did it take you to get that team?
I think I spent a total of, I think it was around 2 to 3 months doing all the research and then acquiring an actual team.
Good going,
There was
yeah,
many
pretty good
failed
going.
attempts.
Yeah, it's important to mention that Caden was very driven to find a WCB team, because he thought it's a community that'd be good to get into and benefits both us, and hopefully we benefit them as well. It's just about
It's a
helping the
massive
scene grow.
opportunity, yeah.
Yeah,
And I think
he worked really hard at it. He did.
to be honest, I think the biggest thing that people need to know as well is the actual population of female players in the actual scene, and that is one of the reasons it's so hard to find a team, because there's so little players in the female region. Although with the 100 grand, I'd hope there'd be more coming to the bloody scene. Hopefully more pickups there with the 100 grand prize pool. I mean, even if you're playing female football, get yourself on Rocket League, get yourself grinding, because that is brilliant, especially for a scene where it is so unbuilt at the moment and there's so many opportunities to grow and get involved. That's a really good place. But my hat's off to you, because it's something that I've been telling orgs to do for about 3 months now. Get yourselves some female players, get yourselves a team going. Make sure they're in America, because you want to play the WCB, but obviously it's not as easy as that. It does require, as you said, Caden, those 2 to 3 months away, those long hours looking at a boring white Wikipedia page, trying to find which players fit to your piece in the puzzle. So I do hope they do really well for you guys. I do hope they play exceptionally. I will be asking more questions on those guys, those girls later. But we will move on with another question in this topic, and now we're talking more about ambitions. So we're moving a little bit more towards ambitions now. So this is a simple question: where do you see yourself in 1 year? 1 year from now, where do you want to be? What do you want to have? What will you have and you'll keep? And what do you want to take on board?
Well, there's 3 things that I thought about when you proposed that question. So the first one was, we want to obviously establish teams in more games, like the ones I mentioned earlier. So COD, Valorant, hopefully F1, maybe even I don't know, Fortnite, whatever. We need to look into it more. But so obviously establish teams in all those games, with hopefully some content creators in those games as well, communities to go with them, because obviously we have a massive Rocket League community now. We want to have some sort of infrastructure for those teams in different games, and we want to improve the content. So hopefully we can pay, let's say, editors, streamers, content creators, whatever. And thirdly, we want to have a Rocket League team that are consistently making close qualifiers. I feel like that's a reasonable and goal, like a reasonable goal that we can like fulfill in that time. Me and Caden have spoken about it recently. We think that's somewhere where we can reasonably be in 1 year's time. So, yeah,
So that's realistically speaking.
yeah. Obviously,
So
win our
what's
LCS is
ideally speaking? Is there any difference to ideally speaking what you'd love to do? I mean, obviously that can get a bit daft, that question, but
yeah. I mean,
what do you want from a year's time? What would be goal to you? What would be lucky? Maybe a striker luck hits you, or whatever. What would be ideal to have that maybe isn't realistic? Maybe push the boundaries a bit, but it's a bit more than what you've just said. If there's
RLCS main event / WCB main event. I think that'd be the aim. Or
also
just
maybe taking on an affiliate deal or sponsorship for, let's say, like the main team off even the IWS ISS, just something that can maybe help propel, get us out there, maybe provide something we can then use to, let's say, pay for better graphics or
okay.
pay for contracts, whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's fair enough, mate. That is absolutely fair enough. Yeah, and you've nailed the question spot on there with that one. And now, obviously, you know what's coming next. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? So we're pushing ahead. This is more of a long-term question. 5 years from now, where are you going to be? You're going to be in a building in
Well, I
England, or
think
are you still
five
going
years
to be
is
sat
a
in the
long
room?
time. Yeah,
It's a very long time.
five
It's a very long time.
5 years is a long time. I think. Where do I see myself? Oh, where do I see us? It's hard to gauge. I think if we keep at the rate we are, work at the rate we are, get better staff, whatever, we could probably end up being a decent org. But I see it's going to be a very, very slow process. I think we can maybe help build a brand as such. So alongside the esports, we could have, let's say, IRO merch, IRO clothing, the IRO logo as more like an idea or a brand, whatever. And in terms of the esport, I think be an established organization in Rocket League, other games, have like good content creators that were paying, like just be able to self fund, be self sufficient as such.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
I've rambled on there, stuttered a
No,
lot.
no. It all makes sense. It all does add up. I don't know if Caden has anything to add. Been a bit quiet in the class of questions, so if you want to get involved.
yeah. I think
I'm
in
straight for
5 years, because it's such a long span of time, it would be amazing to have like a sustainable and sufficient income to fund what we want to do and help us grow a bit more by then. But like, you know,
Guess
we
that's
shall
the
see.
issue at the moment. Obviously, 5 years' time is a big time as well. 2 years now, the Olympics are going on, which means the government actually has to fund esports as a sport. Although you are going to be playing tic tac toe and baseball and all sorts of shit, that doesn't matter. But you know, we'll keep that for another argument for another podcast day, or maybe in later questions this evening. But yeah, I think the big problem at the moment is there's not enough funding in esports, and that's why these jobs can't be sustainable. And a lot of teams are going under because they can't find the sponsorship money, or they can't find that money to keep themselves going, especially as a full-time job. I spoke to an organisation today, and they have two guys on the team who are both working jobs alongside this job, and the top 75 in the world in CS:GO. So you know, there's big things. Even big teams have to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, just to make sure it works for them. And that's the problem at the moment. We need these teams to get more support. So I do think 5 years, if you keep going, if you keep you keep on top of things, you don't get lazy, you don't get tired. When things are boring, you carry on pushing through. When things are bad, you carry on pushing. I don't see the reason why you can't make it to one of the top orgs, because the reason orgs fail is like I'm a prime example. When the life gets tough and you start getting angry, you start getting moody, you start losing members, losing friends, and you start pissing people off, you carry on going. You replenish yourself, you chill, you breathe, you maybe take a 2-week break, come back to it. Okay, what do I need to do? Let's crack down, let's go. Obviously, sometimes that's limited by time and life situation. You know, in 5 years' time, you might have a girlfriend, you might have a wife, you might have kids. You know, there's all sorts of things that could happen in 5 years' time in your personal lives as well, especially if you're going through the A-level route and the area. So it's going to be it's going to be an interesting one. But 5 years' time, though, if you're definitely going the same place, the same way you are now, I don't see why it would really end, why it would stop. Maybe more of a community or whatever if it doesn't go too well. But I think it'll.
Yeah.
I think if you carry on with the same vision that you are now, I'm sure you'll get to somewhere. So we'll have a little bypass now. Because a couple of these questions are pretty much the same sort of crap we've gone over 3 times over. But it's just different time lengths. So obviously you guys can't be owners forever of this organisation. Obviously you can't always be on the top of this, on the front of this, and there is going to be times in your lives where you have to step down, if it's for a year, if it's for a month, whenever.
Yeah.
Where do you want to be when you step down from this position? What do you want to be able to do with the organisation? Do you want to just stop it completely, or do you want to be able to have someone to pass it down to? How would you envisage a perfect send-off for the organisation when you guys go?
Caden, do you want to, or I can speak?
I mean, in a perfect world, we wouldn't want to leave, you know? Keep what we've built, keep running with it till the end, until,
Yeah,
at the
I think
very end.
I think if we were to be as successful as we say, or we hope, we get to a point where we'd have people working that we would trust and we wouldn't mind passing it down to them, or at the same time we could always, this is very, very theoretical, we could always sell it off, or it might be a worldwide brand at that point, we don't know. So it's a very difficult question to answer, because it's almost like at the minute we don't know what we'd have to give away or what we'd have to achieved, I guess. So yeah.
Fine. That's fair enough. So we're going to go with now the last question, the final question of this topic, before we move on to a break, another break, second break of the day, and then we've only got a small topic and a small topic, so it won't be too long after that. We've got through the main thick of it. We've got through the halfway point. The final question of this part will be a simple one, a simple question. Okay, and this question is as follows: what are your short-term goals, and what are your long-term goals for your team? What are the long-term and short-term goals for the organisation IRO Esports? Just quick fire.
Right, well, I'll just fire some things off. So obviously short-term, I think they're similar to the 1-year ones. So it's have teams establishing more games, more and improved content, and then consistently making close qualifiers. That's the short-term for me. I think, Kane, you have some long-term ones, right? In terms of becoming the brand and things like that.
Yeah, building a brand, building up all the content, because it's not going to be a short-term process, and just being able to provide more, being able to offer more to people to play under us, just grow as a whole.
Yeah, it's almost be like an attractive prospect for people to think, oh, IRO Esports, I want to join them. Like you see teams like FaZe saying, who should FaZe pick up, who should FaZe employ? It's almost like who should IRO acquire, or who should IRO have, who should content create for IRO sort of thing. Like just be something that teams want or people want to be in the scene.
Yeah, no, again, very, very good answers there. Very good quick fire questions. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a short break. We're going to throw some ads on, so keep watching, make me some more money. But we will see you after the break for the next topic. Thank you very much for sticking with us thus far. And we'll be back with the next topic, which will be staff and playing teams. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back very, very shortly. Thank you very much. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back. I know it was only a short break again. I couldn't run that break because another ad break ran previously, and I have to wait for a timer. So fuck Twitch. But continuing with the with the podcast, really good podcast so far. Big thank you again to Caden Amgus for finding time to do this with me, and thank you for everyone that's watching as well. Love you all. Brilliant. Wouldn't be as good as if you guys weren't here. Otherwise, it's talking to a brick wall. But no, love to have you. So we will actually have a little section for people in the chat to ask their own questions, their own serious questions, to Caden as well and Amgus here. But we'll get through these ones first and see what time we're at and see if anyone needs to go anywhere, because I am aware that it is getting later on in the night. And so the fact we still have this many viewers this late at night is brilliant. I know it's a Friday night, but thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. You're definitely giving me a good Friday night. But no, moving on. I'm going to be here all night. Staff team and playing teams. We are on the next one. This has got quite a simple one, quite an easy one. I mean, you can just name your players, give them a little shout out here in this one. But we've already asked the first one, really. But who are the staff team members and what are the roles? Just go through them really quickly.
Yeah, I'll go through that again. So at the minute we have 2 owners, 2 admin, I think 4 moderators. So at the minute I'm supposed to be head of like growth and Call of Duty, so getting out into other games and trying to build a COD community. Caden is
Yeah.
head of Rocket League with Mimical as his like helper slash co slash
GG.
does some work associate. Yeah, Phil is more of a developer, helps out with things like Twitch streams, developing bots, developing he developed the overlay for the AWS, so things like that. And then obviously, like we mentioned before, the moderators help with small jobs around the server, like maybe recruitment or running community events like our Tournament Tuesday and other things like that. So yeah.
There
So
you
and
go.
also I'll just mention quickly that the moderators are Fizzle, Skull, Plaz, and I can't remember the other one. I'll have to check, but
Jack, I believe.
Jack, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, well, that's a very good staff team there. So I want to hear now. Obviously, you're in the Rocket League right now. I want to hear all your main teams, and then after that one, I want to hear about your WCB, and then we'll move into more questions after that one. So first of all, just your Rocket League main rosters, your men's rosters, your mixed rosters. I don't know if you've any mixed in there. It feels weird saying that because there never have been men's rosters, but now we have to use our words carefully.
So we don't have a main roster. Well, we do, but we can't say much about it yet.
Big
And
thing.
then we have the women's roster, which is Pepper, Maddie, Princess, and Ninja.
I think
Then,
he said he was going to touch on that at the end.
all right, well, we're going down the list, you know.
Using the Discord doesn't
And
even
we,
know them off by heart.
well, I do, but I can't remember the names of the teams. All this,
Fair
there's
enough.
different people on half of them. We have the academy, which is Mimical and Egol at the moment, and they're trying out for a fairness sub. We've got Byretto, which is Sep, Jerku, and FNSI.
Very good roster, very active,
Roster. Yeah,
very, very high leveled. What MMR are they again, Caden, roughly?
1900.
And they play in a lot of tournaments. Like they had one today, I
Yeah,
think, didn't they?
yeah, they played in the Bubble Trouble.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get any good?
Uh, it was decent. We went 1 and 2, so second round are lowest.
Better than now, eh? Better than now.
Yeah,
Gotta love
yeah.
to see it. You got favored than some teams anyway.
Oh yeah,
More
Fair enough. Yeah.
rosters.
Yeah. Any more? Some more?
Yeah, so we have
yeah.
so we got Kura, who I think they've had a few player swaps since I last really kept up with
Yes,
it. What you got?
currently John Lewis, Rohan, and Jake.
Yeah, they they're quite a high level roster as well. I think 1700. So they've represented IRO in quite a few things, IWS, other small tournaments as well. We have Asoy, IRO Asoy. They are currently Big Harold, Jax, Hertz,
That's
and L
sad.
Lands. L,
It's sad.
what did I
Also
say?
known as Slowish.
Yeah, Slowish.
Okay.
Slowish in the preseason. They won the IRO preseason tournament. So
So you
yeah, and then
signed them. I see it. Sweeping,
yeah,
sweeping, sweeping
they
under the
approached
arm.
us actually. They
Yeah,
approached us.
they
Yeah.
asked us, yeah.
They poached you. Fair enough. Fair enough.
And then obviously we have Caden's team. I'll let him tell you about that because I'm
Yeah,
not an expert on them.
it's currently me, Poddy, Joik, Nixus Letho, and Faith, but it's going a bit of change at the moment.
Is Nixus actually a Nixus, or has he just got a
Yeah.
fanboy name?
No, genuinely, it's the Nixus Letho.
Okay. Good.
He played a lot in the preseason actually.
Mm.
They took a bit of a step back to make some content for Nixus and
There you go.
improve his
Yeah.
mechanics. So
Yeah.
Freestyling. That's the way it goes.
yeah, and that's all the Rocket League rosters. Yeah.
They like to changing colours behind me. There's a ghost in my house, but I heard something and the lights moved. So hopefully I'm not getting killed by the ghost. He's clearly not happy with the podcast time. I know it's getting late, so we'll try and speed it up. But no, a lot of good rosters there. As you said, you mentioned some names like Jerku, Mimical, both players who are in my org right now. Actually, funny enough, the one I play for. So in ERS, not at your org. So no, I know the good players. Very very good amount of teams in there as well. A very good mix of ranks. So that's interesting. So the next question follows on from this then. So the women's team. What will they be playing? What leagues? What tournaments? What we're going to be looking out for on Twitch?
So there's the obvious WCB, the main event.
Yep.
They're also playing in these pro weeklies, which is like they've got a women's section and then there's a bubble section as well, which is quite good. That's ongoing now. And WCB's next weekend for us.
Okay.
And then they're looking to play in some of the big like 100k tournaments. I can't remember the name of them. But yeah, and then yeah, just playing in anything and everything they can, getting the experience and climb up the ranks.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. As you said, it looks like to me it's going well. It looks like they're definitely going to be a team to look out for, a team to watch out for, and especially as I said before, I'll go quick on this one. They're a team that it's a new well, as someone said, chat new region. Basically, it's almost like a new region. It's completely new. Obviously, there's some players like Alanus and the higher ranks who've been around for longer and have played in the normal scene of Rocket League. But now it's going to be a very big opportunity for your team, especially, and other teams that have just got into the game and are at a decent rank level, and should hopefully go well. So that's the leagues you play with those teams. So obviously we've had one tournament, Bubble Trouble for your main teams or your higher teams. So what leagues are you in around about other than your IRO Winter Skirmish and your Summer Skirmish stuff? What other leagues are you involved in the grassroots level for those teams?
We've got 2 teams currently in RS Trios. Byreto are in the Masters Quals and Hanoiro are in Elite Quals for that. And then we've got Hanoiro again and Slowish / Asoy in the Renaissance League.
Okay. Yeah. Have you ever looked at getting into RSC or ERS, or is that something that you've not really touched upon at the moment?
Yeah, we got turned down both times, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They said we were too busy for ERS, which is a shame.
I've been
So
turned down 3 times in a row for us, so I know how it feels. It's one of those situations you just gotta open it up. I mean, those are 2 leagues that you can look to get involved in. If you can find the argument that you have enough staff and you have enough time, and you can argue against what they have at the moment. Then it's always something to look forward to. It's always something to have. It's always something to get there. So that's a good amount of leagues of the Renaissance League, the RS Trios League. Your own league going on as well. You've got a lot of things to keep the players busy. So any players looking for a team and chat, where to go and ask these guys. Obviously they have the requirements, but I'm sure they have some sort of application process where they keep your application until you needed to put in a team on a waiting list, sort of. So it's always good to have one of them. So how are all your teams getting on then in these tournaments? How are all your teams getting on the leagues they're playing in the tournaments in the IRO? Are they doing crap? Are they failing, or are they developing slowly, developing fast? Have you got a team that's kicking ass everywhere? What's the overall scenario with the teams at the moment?
Byreto are going alright. They've gone 2-3 in their quals group in RS Trios. Hanoiro are 1-1 in their RS Trios quals group. Hanoiro just got knocked out of the IWS in lowers round 3 against
Tizen, wasn't it?
against Tizen Alpha,
Yeah.
who topped their group, and then Slowish / Sawyer. They went 7-0 in groups in IWS, and
Yeah,
they've only lost to Tizen Eclipse
yeah.
and play Tizen Alpha tomorrow.
Yeah. You say these names to me, and these are names of the teams that I created as well.
Tizen is
Eclipse and
bane of us,
Alpha.
don't worry.
I know that Alpha has changed quite a bit since I touched upon them. I know they split. And I heard at one point in the season Matt joined Tizen Alpha with Plaz and Stan, and that was a bizarre change for me to look at. I was thinking only 300 MMR below or 200 MMR below. It's an interesting move, but no, I'm happy to see
Yeah.
them still kicking ass. Hopefully they can still fight for my name. Those players were the players that I did get along quite well with. Plaz being the captain, I think, because Plaz the captain, and me and Stan had a good relationship. So no, I hope the best for them. But no, it's good to see. It's good to see that you've got teams. Good to see that they're doing well. Good to see that sort of going on. That means we move into our final listed topic anyway, and it's the quickfire Rocket League questions. Now, how is your knowledge in the Rocket League scene, the pair of you in the RLCS?
I'd say it's quite good. It's got a bit worse this year, but it's all right.
Okay. Well, we'll go with a few quick shot questions here. This should only take 5 minutes of your time. It shouldn't be too long with this one. Whilst we're doing this, by the way, if you have questions in chat,
get involved.
either put it in chat or DM me on Discord. I'm more likely to see it on Discord if the chat gets flooded. So DM me on Discord at Ped #9687. Give me a little DM. Ped, this is what I want. A lot of you have me added anyway, because a lot of you follow me. If you don't know me, like Mimical, I've not spoke to you really before. I'm in your Discord server in 20R. Give me a shout in there. Whatever it needs, get me the messages through. You think of your questions whilst I think of mine, because I've got a couple of written down, but I need to think of a couple more. So I want to start off with one that's not on the list, so you're not ready for it. So, which region for RLCS do you prefer, SSA or APAC?
Ooh,
SSA, I think.
APAC.
Okay, there we go. Two answers against each other already. Who is your favourite player in APAC? From thus far.
Realised.
Hey, he's got it. Do you know any of them, Angus? Any players?
In SSA?
APAC.
Oh,
That is.
APAC. Oh, another team is like Orlando Pirates, isn't there? But I don't know. Buddy, maybe? Buddy might be a name. I don't know.
No. So you've got Virtuoso, who's probably one you may have heard of in the past.
I'm thinking of APAC South Africa. Virtuoso, what do you call him? Cammy. And, yeah, I'm thinking APAC South Africa for some reason.
Change it around then. Where are you looking for? In APAC, Angus. In Asia Pacific.
Yeah. My favorite player in APAC.
Yeah.
What's that guy called in Gaming Gladiators last year that he subbed in at one of the
There's
majors?
a guy called LCT, the guy called OCA.
Oh no, yeah, I know who you mean.
No, there's a guy who subbed in last year for Gaming Gladiators at the major.
Commutator, the GC1.
Oh yeah, him. Yeah, I love him. Yeah. But no,
Can't help you. I haven't got a clue either.
Yeah.
And I've actually done that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think his name was Commutator or something like that.
Commentator, something like that. Yeah.
Commutator.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Fair enough. Yeah, so we got that one over the line eventually when Matthew understood the question. So we can move on. Now we're going to move into something that you should know. Who's your favourite team EU?
Probably Solari. I really like the old guard, like Chaussette, like Therapy, like K. Watched them for many a year, so I think that's my favourite team at the minute.
Fair enough. The newbie Caden, free to play player.
Yeah, my favourite team currently is probably Liquid or G1, but I'm a BDS supporter, and that's not looking good at the moment.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean they've won twice, haven't they? Won more than any other team at the moment, past 2 years. So they have with those two major wins. Well, they win Worlds.
Worlds, yeah.
Yeah, they won Worlds and they won a major, so really good stuff for them. Yeah, they were definitely there with different rosters. They had some of the same players. They had Mark by 8 and no, Mark by 8 got removed.
He's on G1 now, yeah.
He was the guy with the wig. He got sodded off. Who was it? Psycho joined.
Psycho, yeah.
Monkey Moon and Extra.
Monkey Moon Extra. There's the name. Monkey Moon with the fat fod. Or was that Extra? I can't remember anymore, man. This is not good for me. I've stopped watching RLCS, so you guys are going to be my teachers here.
You're an APAC main.
You're going to tell me how it works. APAC main, SSA, that's what I know, yeah. So, who is your favourite player in NA right now?
This is my answer. It's always been Garrett G. It's never going to change. 100% Garrett G. Context, I've supported NRG since season 5. I actually watched the Justin go live on Twitch.
Wow. Yeah.
So go a long way back. Garrett G, have DM'd him on Instagram. He's replied to me. So I mean, I'm a bit of a Garrett G super fan.
Oh god. Let me think.
Is it Ambitious by any chance?
Yeah, definitely. Probably Chronic.
Yeah, Chronic, fair enough.
Yeah.
So, now we're going to move into a different question. This is going to be a one or two. It's going to be Relating Wave or Archie?
Archie.
Okay, we're going with Archie there. Hash or Scrub Killer?
Hash.
I want to say Scrub Killer because of like his success in the past, but it's Cash. Cash, definitely. Is this who I prefer or who's better?
Who you prefer, mate? Who you prefer?
Scrub Killer.
Scrub Killer, fair enough. Yeah, who you prefer? Okay, moving on. Who is the better team? Is it BDS or is it NRG right now, current form?
God, I'm not even going to defend NRG anymore. BDS, I'd say, yeah.
Monkey Moon carry.
There Obviously, NA's been collapsing since the EU players have moved over there. Obviously, is it
EU's just a
Quadrant?
better region.
Is Quadrant NA? That's
Genji.
the one.
No.
No.
Yeah. No.
Gen-
Genji. Yeah. Genji.
Genji. Okay, that's what is that what they do with
Me too, I know.
Jack?
Chronic Jack,
Yeah.
Nolly, and Chronic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite all-time English player? Just so you prefer.
Probably Bluey.
Probably Archie. It's
Where you
PUBG.
say Bluey and OG, and then Caden comes in with a little knowledge and hits the Archie, one of the newer players. But Matthew knows his stuff, ladies and gentlemen. He's got it covered. He knows all of them. Okay, so I've obviously asked you about APAC and SSA, but I'd be wrong if I didn't include Oceania. So, what is your favourite minor region? And give me a reason why.
Oceania.
OC.
Oceania. Caden, do you want to say why? Or
Yeah, just because better, aren't they? You know, Ground Zero.
no, I've always liked Torsos. But that's not a reason to like OC the most. I think it's just because it's been established for the longest time outside of NA and EU that I think they have quite a distinct play style that isn't like Europe and isn't like North America. And for some reason, it's always the minor region I catch the most of outside of NA and EU. So I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's the
I don't
most
know.
competitive region. Well, it always has been, apart from recently. You know, now it's Mina and Sam, but I
Sam
still
and
think
Mina.
they're up there. Yeah.
Sounds like a Biff and Chip book.
It does.
South America and
Middle
Middle
East,
East.
Middle East. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I got there in the end. Yeah,
and North Africa.
So, I need to be careful with what I say now. I need to make sure I know what. There's so many fucking minor regions. What? I didn't even. When you actually sit down and think, you think how many more regions have popped up around the map?
Yeah.
There's quite a lot. So that leaves us with two other regions that we haven't really touched on, and that's SAM and MENA. So obviously there's some big teams now coming from both of them. So do you prefer? I'm trying to think of what team was that. Can't remember who they play for anymore. Can I call them? I want to call them by their old name because that's all I can remember.
Okay.
I don't even know if the players still play together. But Endpoint or Falcons?
Endpoint. I don't know which endpoint you're referring to.
The
Or
current endpoint.
the
Or
current
Endgame.
Falcons.
Falcons.
Yeah, Peak. I love them. I love TRK.
Yeah.
He's
TRK
unbelievable.
is crazy.
I
They
love his purple decal as well.
Mina Fennec.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, has anybody in chat got any questions? Now's your final chance because I think I've asked them as many questions as come to my mind on the quick fire round. They got them very good. We've been here now for an hour and a half, full stream time, about an hour and 23 minutes of talk time. So there's been a good podcast. My upload speed is going to go to shit tonight when I try to upload this to YouTube and other platforms. So bear with me on that one. It'll be out hopefully tomorrow, and we can get this going. Go on, Mimical, send it in there. Send that question in chat. If you don't send it now, you'll forever be upset that you never spoke up about it to Caden and Matthew, who are both here now in front of you. Even Matthew has a question. He's going to ask a question to himself.
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a brilliant one, actually.
Not yet.
It says will be though.
He will be, but not yet. When he teams with Vatira, it's over.
That's good.
Genuinely, it's over. It's over. And that'll happen next season. He leaves Vitality, joins KC for Exotic, and then KC wipe the floor with everyone.
Oof.
I think
Fiery.
First Killer has something to say about that. So I don't know if he will be the best player.
Nah, he'll kick too many of his teammates. They'll eventually run out of teammates in
that's a
North
good
America
point.
to team with
Fair enough.
when he keeps finishing fourth.
I need someone to answer my question. Why is Caden the GOAT?
I think only you can answer that.
Well, I've already said. Works hard for IRO Esports, that's why.
Works hard for IRO Esports. That was my reason as well.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't really know too much about Caden, to be honest. Today's been an eye-opener. I learn more about the voices behind the people who have known about for quite a while, to be fair. It's good to see. But I'm going to finish this one off with a decent question. A question that should get some debates going. I don't know if you're both joint on this question. Who is the best player in Rocket League right now?
I I'm torn between two. I
Honestly,
think
you say
I'm actually
first.
torn. I'm torn between three. I'll tell you who I'm torn between. I'm torn between First Killer, apparently Jack, and Vatira. But I think I'm going to go with First Killer. I think.
Oh, I'm gonna say Vatira. Sorry,
I don't have to apologise.
I got that
What
hate for
are you
Killer.
saying, Ped, or do you not know too much about that?
I haven't got a fucking
Really?
clue.
was gonna say
I haven't got a clue. I don't know.
That's
I mean,
fair
you're
for
talking about
debate.
APAC. We're talking about APAC.
Yeah.
I've got my favourites in APAC. I think LCT is my favourite in APAC just because he's very responsive to me. Archie in EU because he's responsive to me as well. I've had a good chat with Archie on Instagram.
Oh yeah, wow. Yeah.
I'd say in NA, I've always liked AJ. I've always liked his playstyle. I've always liked the way
Yeah,
he
he is
goes.
very
And
good,
I
yeah.
love that phase team as well for the majors, because when they beat BDS, whatever the fucking hell that was, they beat BDS also. Oh no, they beat Moist. Was it Moist they beat? Did they beat Moist? They beat someone. They beat someone who'd won the previous. I think it was Moist.
That might have been BDS, you know.
Whoever it was, BDS, Moist, whichever. I watched this, and their demo plays were absolutely beautiful, and they complemented each other. But AJ's always been a player I've looked up to. It's a player that I've looked for. But also, Relating Wave is a special mention. I've had a good chat with him. Cash as well. Good. All these people don't let the fame get to their heads. They have good chats with people. I know Appjack does, but he's too popular to even get a bloody chat with these days. You know, everyone's on.
Get him on the
Appjack,
podcast one day.
if I can get the contact, mate, you know for a fact he'll be on here. But, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you all for staying. It's been absolutely excellent tonight. It's been better than I could have ever dreamed and expected. Finally, this idea that I've had inside my head came to life. I can get to change things, get to make graphics look better, get to take it into account. And we will probably be having Caden and Matthew back on anyway. Come
Next
few
time,
months'
might have a camera next time.
about IWS. Yeah, well now you know you can expect it. Obviously, Caden's using his phone. We've managed to clutch that up, and he's on a fucking Samsung. So the iPhone's let us down today for Matthew. So hopefully in the future, when we're touching on leagues, we're going to start with organisations. The next topic will be leagues. Then after that, you know, we'll casters, production, go through the whole list, and then we'll go on to professional and see if we can get anyone there. So a couple of months probably, and we'll have these two lovely lads, back in. Thank you very much for coming in and talking to me today. It's been absolutely brilliant to get this one started. As I've said, all the audio and the video stuff I can send over to you guys. Anyway, I've been recording as well as streaming, so I can get that chopped down and sent to you, chop out the breaks, and give you the juicy bits. Thank you everyone for watching though again. Absolutely beautiful stream today. And we'll see you next Fridays when the next one is. I'm not going to announce who it is yet, but next Fridays when the next one will be.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having us, Ped.
No worries.
Thank you.
Goodbye now, everybody.